Hi Shonali, good evening. How
Hi,
are you
hi.
doing?
Good. Am I clear?
You're very much audible and clear.
Great.
Okay,
Thanks for having me
great.
today.
Thanks, Shonali. Guys, who does not know Shonali yet, she's India's first graduate and practicing macrobiotic nutritionist and chef. She's also written 3 books successfully around this topic. So, Shonali, we're so glad to have you today, and we're going to try to ask you as many questions around this subject. So, thank you very much for joining.
Sure. You're welcome.
Okay, great. Great. So I think since this topic is about gut health and today's World Health Day, so we're going to concentrate on gut and the digestion issues, and especially in PCOS where there's a lot of hormonal imbalance. So Shonali, why don't you tell our audience how does the gut plays an important role in the hormonal balance?
So I'll go back to PCOS because your community is about, I suppose,
Yeah.
people suffering with it, or mothers with children who have it. We all know that when you have PCOS, there are a couple of things going on. There are anovulatory cycles. So what's happening is you're getting leftover with excess estrogen. And two is that it's deeply connected to insulin problems, right? Insulin
Yeah.
sensitivity. Now, the thing is that apart from all this, if I go back to my macrobiotic lineage, I try to analyze why someone has PCOS and why is it more rampant today than it was in probably your mother's time, okay? Or even when I was growing up, I saw less PCOS. You never heard of anyone having PCOS.
Absolutely.
Is
Yeah.
because there was our eating patterns were far healthier. Okay, just remember the ovaries are compact organs, and they are dense and they are contracted organs. In macrobiotics, what I do, we come from the energetic component of the organs and the energetic components of foods. So, if you're going to do erratic eating patterns, most women with PCOS, at least the ones who call me, the thread that runs through their lives is, and most of the younger lot, especially, they have this wacky, erratic eating style. It could be that they're swinging from coffees, teas, stimulants, lots of dairy, which anyway today's dairy is, I don't believe in it, it's mutated. And then they're
Yeah.
swinging towards, the non-vegetarians go towards a lot of eggs and meats and things like that. But the vegetarians also are probably, swinging towards a lot of sugar. So what happens is from a macrobiotic perspective and holistic perspective, if you look at the energy of food harming you, what's happening is that because the body cannot assimilate some of the stuff that you're eating, it's going to go and start creating these cysts in your ovaries. Okay, it's going to go on, unassimilated stuff is going to go and sit and create cysts. Now we all know that PCOS is a condition that doctors make you manage. They don't help you get rid of it. Although you can get rid of it in my scheme of things, but the doctors are working towards managing your symptoms, because then you become symptomatic. You start getting hair because your male hormones or androgens are pushed, so you're getting
Yeah.
facial hair. You're getting a lot of acne. A lot of women have different symptoms. But I think the base of what's going on with PCOS is once you are diagnosed with it, another thing which comes into play, and which comes into play for most women at a very young age today, is the play of estrogen, because your estrogen levels get pushed. Okay, so there's all this excess estrogen floating around in the system, right? And when there's excess estrogen floating around in the system, the body has to break it down. Now, how does the body break it down? The liver, being your largest processing unit, is breaking it down and excreting some of it through your urine, and some of it is coming out in the form of bile and is being sent out, and some of it gets, the unassimilated portion gets deposited in your gut. Naturally, that's the
Okay.
passageway that it's going to follow, right? Now, if it's going to get deposited in your gut, then how are you helping your gut to get rid of it? Now, most women who come to me with issues like that also have because they've been eating so badly, because their patterns are erratic, because there's stress in their lives of some sort, whether it's with foods or mental or whatever, their guts are also gone. Most of them are suffering from some amount of gut issues. Okay. It could be very severe or it could be very mild, but most of them have some problem with their guts. Okay. Now, what's happening is that once this excess estrogen is floating around in the system, and let's say you have someone who's excessively constipated, okay, how is she going to eliminate the excess estrogen? As you know, our stools are another way of eliminating unwanted stuff, right? So, how are we going to assist this person who's already got insulin sensitivity, who's already dealing with a weakened gut, who's already dealing with high levels of estrogen, to help her to discharge this estrogen? Because what happens is the very gut, it all depends on the microbiome, because the very gut bacteria that are going to help you can also become detrimental to you at this point. Okay, what happens is they start pushing this estrogen back into your system. They recycle it, and the gut bacteria, there's a study where it is known that the gut bacteria work on this estrogen and put it back into your system. So what's going to happen is all the estrogen dependent cancers get triggered. Now, they may not get triggered in someone at this point in time because the person is young. Let's say it's a younger person, because most PCOS is happening to people who are younger, right? But it becomes a perfect incubator for something to happen in the future. Okay,
Absolutely.
because a lot of estrogen dependent cancers most of the women also have a history. There are many women who have a history of PCOS behind that. Okay, or insulin issues. Okay, so so the whole idea of strengthening your gut is to assist the good bacteria, okay, that are in your system, or that we need to get into your system, to help you to not recycle it back into your system, to help you to eliminate what's left.
Understood. So,
And that is
Shonali, yeah, sorry to cut you there. So I think since we were talking about elimination, a lot of women also do experience leaky gut or various IBS related issues. Can you also educate about these gut related issues? I feel
it's the
women,
same principle. The principle is what our Indian diets used to rely on dahi, or rely on dahi even till today, to get them good bacteria coming in. Just remember that our ecosystem inside, okay, our can be a friendly neighborhood, okay, can be a neighborhood that loves each other, has empathy, which is good bacteria, and it's drowning out all the negative energy of the bad bacteria. Or it can be one of those scenes where it's like a shootout at Lokhandwala. Have you seen that movie? Where you have, shootings and this things, and it's all being triggered by
it's
sugar
a
and by
fight. Yeah.
dairy and by bad eating habits, and also there can be a shootout going inside you. It can be a friendly neighborhood that's being triggered with normal, natural, everyday foods, and you're eating plenty of fiber and getting good gut bacteria, so it's a friendly neighborhood. So what's your neighborhood in there? That's what you've got to question. Okay, what kind of an ecosystem do you have, and what kind of a neighborhood do you have in your gut? Because we all know that the body is made up of microorganisms. I've been shouting at it from the rooftops for a long time, and my book, this Detox Diet, deals a lot with it, right? So in this book, we're only talking about gut health. So what we're trying to say is that Indians, two things have happened. One is our diets are not like they used to be. Like when
Yeah.
I grew up, there was no what's it called, Subway, and there was no McDonald's, and there was no eating out, and there was
Junk
no
food.
ordering out
Yeah.
more. We were always eating
Yeah.
home cooked food.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the choices today, because of the economic boom, have become very wide. Like if most people sitting at home in the lockdown are saying, listen, we're eating much better because every meal of ours is a home cooked meal.
Yeah.
And most of my clients are saying, listen, we're feeling great and we're feeling good. And, we just know now what it means to eat healthier because every meal is a home cooked meal, right?
Yeah.
Now, what we do is, over time we have allowed us our guts to get weaker and weaker because of antibiotics, because of pain medication, because of antacids, because of bad dietary habits, because of our stress levels. Okay, so what's happening is the tight junctions of your intestine, which stay tight, and your intestinal lining is already a little permeable, right? that starts loosening up when you're eating badly and you're abusing your gut. And when you're
Yeah.
abusing your gut, there's something called zonulin that gets released, and it loses these junctions. And then you have unassimilated food, and you have pathogens, and you have undigested material which escapes the gut lining. That's called a leaky gut. That's when your gut's leaking. Your gut's not supposed to leak. It's supposed to be very mildly permeable. It's a breathing system, but it's not supposed to leak the way it happens in a leaky gut situation. Now that's a trigger for an autoimmune disease. Right. So most conditions which are autoimmune, like thyroid, for example, after PCOS, I think thyroid is the second condition which most
Yeah.
people are facing. Why?
Yeah.
Because this is the typical bed. The bedrock is your gut. Right. Now, we Indians relied on dahi for the longest time, but dahi doesn't cut it for us anymore in the scenario. One is, it's not, most people who think that they are eating dairy and are vegetarians are fools. Sorry to say that. Because if you're eating dairy, you're not a vegetarian. You're actually eating an
Yes.
animal food,
Yeah.
and it's a can of worms when you talk about dairy, because most women react because they love their dairy, because
Yeah.
dairy's energy is to take you back to your mother's breast. It makes you happy, it makes you comfortable. It's a comfort food. That's the only energy of dairy. You don't need dairy after mother's breast milk, right? Now, so the hormones in dairy are triggering you for PCOS. You're having bad erratic patterns of eating. You're abusing the gut. You're not replenishing the good gut bacteria, because just remember, good gut bacteria come in and check out and check in and check out. You got to keep replenishing it. It's the pathogens, it's the bad ones that are lingering on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as time evolved, and as we realize that apart from the liver and the stomach and the kidneys and the heart and the lungs, there's another whole organ. The whole organ is this microorganisms that exist in our body. They exist on the level of our skin. They exist under our body. If you took them out, they weigh literally 3 pounds. I mean, that's how many microorganisms we have. Yeah,
Wow.
different kinds, different sects. So I call them like they're different nationalities, different religions, like we have in India. Okay, each one unique, because yours and mine are not going to be the same. Okay,
Yeah.
so how are we assisting them to keep that neighborhood friendly instead of making it a neighborhood which is unfriendly? That's the whole idea. So that's where the whole theory of keeping your gut healthy and your ecosystem healthy, because we need the good, bad, and the neutral. But we need the good to outweigh the bad.
Yeah.
Most women who are suffering with this PCOS problem have, or they have a dysbiosis happening. There's a gut breakdown that's happening. So therefore, the bad outweighs the good.
Understood. So, Shonali, here
So,
I would,
yeah.
yeah. Sorry. So, since you were explaining about the good ecosystem we should have in our gut, we have been relying on yogurt. Now, since we do not encourage having too much dairy, in fact, some of the ladies say that having cold milk or yogurt give them relief from acidity situation. Now, how should we, use the products that we have in our Indian household to build that good ecosystem and not rely
See,
on the
the
dairy
Indian
products?
diet by itself is a very good diet, because it's giving you plenty. If you look at an Indian plate, you've got your roti or your rice component, you've got your vegetable component, you've got your lentils or your legumes, and then you've got your, most people are doing dahi, right? Or you have an
Yeah.
achar or something like that.
Yeah.
Now, if you can substitute your white rice for brown rice, you increase the fiber quotient of your diet. Okay? You're taking
Yeah.
away the sugar and starch of the white rice, and you're increasing the fiber quotient of your diet. So one of the big things which obviously I haven't coined, but I've said it in my book, that a very famous couple that wrote a book on gut bacteria coined, was microbiota accessible fibers. They call it the MACs, MAC and S. The MACs are fibers that the gut microbiota like. So they like the fiber, they like the residual fiber that's left over from the grain. They like the residual fiber that's left over from the vegetables. They take in the fiber from the lentils. They have taken the fiber from your nuts and seeds. So keeping your diet high on fiber is one thing. Okay. Then there is a term called, and it's in one of your questions to me, called prebiotics. Prebiotics are not probiotics. Probiotics are what you're going to get from fermented food preparations, which I'm coming to. But prebiotics are what feed the gut bacteria. Okay? So prebiotic like a banana or a inulin fiber or onions, these are all prebiotics. Okay? So one is to keep the prebiotic load high in your diet, keep the fiber load high in your diet, and the other thing then is to bring in fermented foods. Okay? So you can do, now people ask, okay, why not our Indian pickles? That is also fermented, right? But the Indian pickle has been mutated like dairy, because over time what's happened is you're using a lot of sugar, you're using refined oil, you're using a lot of jaggery to make it. So, and you're using table salt. So technically you've killed the pickle, you only have the flavor. So it's not going to do much, right? So that's why we are encouraging people to use salt and vegetables. That's all you need to start a fermentation process. You need salt to draw out water from the vegetables, to start eating on the cell walls, to work on the sugars, and ferment the product for you, right? Or you need quick pickles, like how your grandmother used to put quick pickles in vinegar, good quality vinegar, like you can buy apple cider vinegar, or in a citric agent like lemon juice. Yeah.
Very easy.
Or you dilute the vinegar with the water and then start your ferment. So what we are encouraging, and then you have kanji, which was always in our Indian North Indian culture. So we are encouraging people to go towards kanji. At least I am a lot. I found major benefits with kanji. So we're telling people like, okay, listen, why don't you start including these in your diet? And then there are, of course, today companies have opened up which are making beet kvass and which are making, there's so many products now, there's kimchi, there's sauerkraut, so much. So we are encouraging people to notice these products, although they sound very inane and esoteric, but Indians are famous for creating a flavorful product if they want. Right? Like I've made a masala kraut, for example. I love my red chilies. So instead of just making it salted, I've added a lot of red chili pepper to it. And then I've added in turmeric, because just remember, every time you ferment a product, you increase the bioavailability of the nutrients. So the education has been from 2017 onwards, because this has picked up so much. The focus towards gut health has picked up so much that we are encouraging people to look at these products and think out of the box, because dahi won't cut it for you anymore. Right?
Yeah.
So that's where we are.
So Shonali, I think that's some great explanation which sort of makes sense. Now, I see that you've mentioned a lot in your book as well and in your posts as well that there are a lot of Indian herbs as well that we can use to aid digestion and elimination. What are those that people can use very, very easily every day, and how can we use them?
Well, you can use a lot. Ashwagandha works really well. It's a rejuvenatory product. You can use amla to keep vitamin C levels up, and it has a lot of fiber. So you can use that in a powder form. You can use that in a natural form, right? The whole idea is, if you're strengthening gut bacteria, you're strengthening your gut lining also. That's your immune barrier. So you're also impacting immunity. That's why I have talked a lot about it on my Instagram page, that, you need simple tips during this time to keep your immunity up. If you have gut-friendly products, then you're raising the quotient a bit. And you can use basil. Okay.
Wow.
You can use holy basil, which is our Indian tulsi. Right, that's an adaptogen. You can use that. You can use chamomile. Chamomile is also very helpful in helping the digestion and helping you and eating you. So there are many. I mean, if you sit with it and look at it, there are many herbs that can help you. And I feel Indian cooking is very rich with spices. So spices also have a way of stimulating digestion. And spices also have, they play a role in the whole process of digestion. Okay. And I'm sure our Indian guts, they are now being studied apparently, are very different from a Western gut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a whole different, because eat differently. Our roots are different. We react to different things. For example, I think Indians are inundated with curcumin, turmeric.
Yeah.
We've got our
Yeah.
curcumin from when we were very little. The Western
Yeah.
blood doesn't use it so much, right? So
Mm-hmm.
think of how strong why is it that we have the lowest incidence of this virus? Have you ever asked yourself that question?
Yeah.
We are seeing numbers now after that crazy guy had that
Yeah.
congregation.
Yes.
But before that, we had controlled it very well, and we all very proudly say Indians have the strongest immune systems, right? And the
Mm.
world, if someone from America was to come and visit you, or someone from the West was to come, their guts go they go like this. They have to take one sip of our
Yeah.
Indian water and they go. But Indians have very strong guts.
Yeah.
So
That's
our
something to
our
realize.
gut
Yeah.
psychology is very different. We react to very
Mm.
different things. Now the South Indians, for example, they have idli dosa, idli dosa, idli dosa every day. So there is some form of fermentation going into their gut every single day. So I'm sure the South Indian gut is very different to a North Indian gut.
Yeah,
100%.
because of the fermented foods. Yeah.
Yeah, because they include it every day. So I'm sure, and they are vegetarians primarily.
Mm-hmm.
They don't
Yeah.
eat any meat, most of them. They are South Indian Brahmins don't touch meat. They're very
Mm-hmm.
plant-based.
Yeah.
So these things are very important in your gut's map. Your gut map is very different, and it's different person to person, state to state. And I can tell you, because I came from a very bad, typical North Indian family, copious amounts of milk, copious amounts of meat, grew up with a weak gut, ended up having candida, and then resolved it with just food,
Yeah.
just
Food
eating
is medicine.
right.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think you mentioned that having that South Indian food also really helps, which we should start including more, having that fermented batter as
You
dosa.
should,
And
but then again, a lot of people, like I treat very severe lifestyle diseases, a lot of people in the IBD spectrum may not even be able to take a dosa or an idli.
okay.
So you have to remember something that with fermented food products, if you're histamine intolerant, that is, you will not be able to take in foods. Now, how do you detect? Because the question is going to be, how do we
Yeah.
detect we are histamine?
Yeah.
So there's a test called the DAO test. You can take that, diamine oxidase test, but you can also watch your reaction to fermented foods. So take in a little bit.
Body gives signs and people. Yeah, I mean, if as long as you start listening to the signs the body gives you, that sort of gives you enough, guidance on what foods you're being accepted and not.
Yes.
Another very much asked question is, Shonali, what is the relationship of caffeine with the gut? How often should we take them, or should we entirely eliminate caffeine, especially people who are addicted to their coffees?
I don't think coffee works well with PCOS at all, because one of the
Mm-hmm.
biggest problems with PCOS is insulin issues, and PCOS people have high spikes, right? Coffee is going to worsen it. Coffee is known to throw your sugar balance off. So if at all you want to help PCOS, you're not helping yourself by being addicted to coffee. So the best thing for you would be to give it up, eliminate it completely.
Okay.
So as much as you
Okay.
love it, doesn't work.
Yeah, cut out the habit is better. What is the best morning or and the night routine we should start including in our daily regime? Like, does lemon water work for everybody, or there should be like customized to a person's body? Because I think Ayurveda prescribes some different methodology that lemon water is not applicable for everybody. What is that one thing that could work for everybody? Like, what's the one thing we should do as a routine?
Well, I think spirulina could work for everybody.
Okay.
So spirulina shot in the morning could work for everybody. It's green, it's got high protein, it's a liver detoxifier. The first thing you're looking at is pushing your liver, having a liver flush in the morning, and spirulina will do that for you, as will wheatgrass, if you can include that. So anything green is definitely working across the board. You don't need to be worried about it. People with IBD, IBD and IBS may get triggered with something raw or a juice like wheatgrass. So you have to just be careful. And someone's asking me to repeat myself. So I'm saying something green in the morning, like a green shot in the morning. Yes, spirulina seaweed can be had in the morning. Or wheatgrass,
Perfect.
something green.
Great. Great. Shonali, somebody asked that probably brown rice and high fibrous rices, there are a lot of others available like red rice and black rice, they could trouble the gut. So who's is okay to have these sort of.
People with severe IBD, okay, ulcerative colitis, severe gut problems, Crohn's disease, they could perhaps be triggered by the fiber in the red rice or brown rice. So then what you got to do is mix your white and mix your brown, or then only stay on white. Like I have a patient right now who's an ulcerative colitis patient. She's only on white rice. She can't digest the brown.
Okay. Okay.
So then
That's
just
helpful.
remember that white rice is not doing much for you on a nutrition level. It's keeping you full. It's got a bit of the fiber, but not as much as the brown would have give you. And the whole insulin sensitivity problem is triggered well with brown rice. With white rice, it will trigger you. It will send you into a more craving of wild stuff. With brown rice, it will keep you at an even level. That's the difference.
Great. And Shonali, when we talk about dairy, there are a lot of alternatives available these days of dairy. There are a lot of nut milks that you can make. There's coconut milk that you can make. What works best for a sensitive gut when we are talking about a non-dairy a dairy
See,
alternative?
all work very well, but if you could be having a nut allergy, then therefore the nut milk won't work, right? All milks work well. You have to look at the labels of the packs that you're buying from, because every Tetra Pak milk will have a preservative in it, and that will
Yeah.
not work for you.
Yeah.
So you have to know what is your source. If you want to make almond milk, you can make almond milk at home also. But Indians have this crazy obsession for their teas. And then they want their tea to taste like it tastes like when you put milk in it. And that's not going to happen with almond milk, right?
Yeah.
So the trick is to make that milk, to achieve it and make it right. And start substituting. If you're okay with nut milks, do nut milks. If you're not, and there's plenty out there in terms of recipes now. You know, I mean, there's oat milk recipes. You can make quinoa milk. I mean, there's plenty out there. So this lame excuse of, oh, I can't work with a substitute is because you're hanging on to your mother with the milk energy. This is what I feel. Which is okay, hang on to your mother. You shouldn't give up. But don't hang on to her for the wrong reason. Right?
So, Shonali, another question we had on one of our posts was that some people have hard time digesting the lentils, and there is quite some relief if you sprout them and have it. And still, some people find trouble having the sprouted lentils. So, is it
That's
okay to
because
cook
it's
them?
not the lentils that are giving you the problem. It's your gut that is weak. The food group, any food group is not going to trigger a problem till you have a problem yourself. So that's because you have a weak gut, so you're not being able to digest the lentil. So then what you have to do is move from a split lentil. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze. This is bad. Sneezing in these days is not a good sign. I don't know why, but anyway, it's gone. So if you have a whole lentil, then you soak it well, you cook it well, right? Follow the principles of it. But if you're not being able to digest it, it's because you have a weak digestion. And when you have a weak digestion, you're not going to be able to accommodate it. So then start with the split lentil, build up your gut, and then you'll automatically be able to digest it. And even if sprouting doesn't work, that's a sign that you've got a weak gut.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because sprouting
Understood.
actually pre-digests it for you. There are enzymes in the process that are made,
Light enzymes. Yeah.
which are supposed to be good for you. So sprouting should
Yeah.
help you actually.
Yeah. Okay. So, Shonali, what are your views for the intermittent fasting and all the fat diets? How can it affect positively or negatively to our gut?
I don't believe in diet, sweetie. I believe that Indians were born to they were born into this culture of fasting. If you look
Mm-hmm.
at the old text, the Jain text especially, because the Jainism talks a lot about diet, and Jainism, I think Jains maintain beautiful diets, and they
Healthy
are known
diets.
for their pajushan, fasting.
Mm.
So if you look at the whole Jain tradition, they eat before sunset. So if you can keep a 12-hour protocol between dinner and breakfast, automatically you are on a fast. This whole
Mm.
thing about intermittent fasting enveloped because, especially in the West, because the West, uh, it's a new thing for them. Indians have always, there's always some home in India where someone's fasting once a week. So there's
Yeah.
always some sort of cleanse going on in any case. In any case, Indians cook more than the West cooks at home. So we are eating better food, better quality food. We have this
Fresh food.
culture of if we don't cook, we have domestic help, which the Western culture doesn't have. So in any way, we are getting home cooked food and taza khana is cooked. We are
Yeah.
not eating leftovers. Most of our homes we cook fresh, right? So this whole idea, you want to do a fast, do it. Great, it corrects your metabolism. There is no doubt about it. But if you want to go manic doing that fast, a 16-hour fast, then you're in a crazy diet fad. And believe me, no
Yeah.
diet fad lasts. I was just thinking about my sister-in-law and brother today. They're a very healthy couple. My brother is a pilot with Qatar Airways. My sister-in-law is also very healthy, very conscious. But there's always been a diet in their life, whether it's the keto, whether it's this, whether it's intermittent fasting. And they have finally thrown it all out of the window because my sister-in-law has finally realized that it's all about just eating well and exercising well. But I'm in the family and no one wants to listen to what I have to say because I'm, ghar ki murgi dal barabar, which is fine. But the point is that there's no rocket science to know that, listen, if you just eat well and you work out and you eat right, you're never going to be ill. You're never going to, have a weak immune system. You're never going to have a weak gut. You just have to know how to eat right. Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't believe in keto. I mean, I do believe that keto and intermittent fasting can set your body right. But it does for you when you want to live an erratic lifestyle. If you want to live an erratic lifestyle, which most PCOS women do, okay, they're very erratic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you guys have logged on today, know that you'll come from that tradition. Then you are looking for a crutch. You're looking for an intermittent fast. You're looking for a keto diet. You're looking for a paleo diet. But if you're not erratic and you're eating right and you've got the right grains, the right food groups, the vegetables, the proteins, the nuts and the seeds and the good quality oils and the fruit, why would you go wrong?
Yeah. That's perfectly said. Yeah. And I think fasting, the normal fasting that our Indian culture propose, it's very detoxing as well. I feel that it really helps you
See,
eliminate all the
at
toxins.
springtime, it's the time to fast. And then the September equinox is the time to fast. Those are the two times of detoxification in your life. But even Ayurveda doesn't propagate all the time fasting, like this entire protocol that has started. Even Ayurveda says you should try and detoxify every 3 months. And your eating patterns have to change with the season. For example, if I'm coming out of a winter into a spring, breaking into a summer, my eating patterns in summer will be very different from my eating patterns in winter. If I told someone in
Absolutely.
winter to have a have a juice every day, they would say, no, it's freezing cold in Delhi. I'm not going to have a juice every day. I've had that. I've never tell my clients to do that, to have raw in winter, right? But there are people who think like, listen, having a raw juice every day or having the smoothie even in the winter is the greatest thing to do. It's not. You should be having a warm porridge to start your day. okay, or a warm soup or something that's going to give you warmth, not something
Yeah.
that's going to be raw and that's going to affect your, body in a different way. It will cool your body down more. You want something to warm
Yeah.
your body up because you're in winter, right?
Yeah.
Similarly, when you bleed into a summer, you're eating for summer. You're eating more raw. You're eating more upward growing vegetables. You're eating more lighter, right? So your eating
Yeah.
patterns have to change with the season.
Yeah, and that brings me to the point that we always see, these days, that eat local, eat seasonal, avoiding the products that are imported, rather have what's growing around you also really helps.
Yeah, naturally it does because you're supposed to
Yeah.
eat from the place that you are in. Like in Bombay, we have plenty of coconut trees, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we consume a lot of coconut water. It's very humid. It helps us
Yeah.
with our potassium levels, right? We use it
Yeah.
in a lot of our food. Yet when you talk to a dietitian, she'll say no, it's high on calories. Cut it out.
Mm-hmm.
So
So,
you're
Shonali,
supposed to
there are,
eat.
sorry to
Go
cut you.
ahead.
So, last two questions for you. So, one is that a lot of women in our community are based in hostels and colleges, and it's very difficult for them to have a good diet. They're relying more on the canteen food, and so how can they ensure that they're having a good diet when they are in college and away from homes?
So always keep spirulina handy, powder handy. Always, you can have a shot in water, or you can have spirulina tabs. So that brings your daily dose of a little protein, and it detoxifies. Okay. Similarly, you have wheatgrass also. So you can always have wheatgrass powder. Those things can be kept in your hostel rooms or whatever. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you can easily, your canteen will definitely give you dal sabzi roti or dal sabzi white rice. That's a good plan,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Avoid the dairy, avoid the dahi,
Mm-hmm.
avoid the milk products and all that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be fruits available,
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
Stick
fruits and
to,
nuts and yeah.
yeah, don't have white bread. Try and avoid the white bread because it's only maida coming in.
Yeah.
By Or you can carry with you, a mixture of nuts and seeds. You can
Yeah.
keep that in your room. So, I mean, there are ways in which you can adapt.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't
Some
need
great
esoteric
points.
stuff
Yeah.
to be successful. The only thing you may not be able, you can keep a little mixer in your room if it permits you, and then soak your almond milk, soak water and almonds in the night, and grind it in your mixer and mix it in a glass and have it in the day with your
Yeah.
muesli. That much you can do, right?
Yeah.
So it's a
Quite
matter
smart.
of getting lateral and thinking. You have to just start preparing and thinking. And if you think it through, you'll be able to do a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Great. So I think, Shonali, we've reached the end of this session. Before we say goodbye, I think it'll be great if you can leave some good thoughts and your message to our community.
Well, for the kind of problem that we're dealing with PCOS, you've got to know that you cannot be erratic in the way you eat, because then you're going to be erratic in the thoughts that you have. So you have got to be, set your sugars right, which means you've got to include at least one millet or a brown rice in the day. Okay, that's a simple tip to include. And you should at least make sure that you get your one shot of greens in, because most Indian homes are not doing greens every day. So make sure there is a spirulina. That's a good tip I've given you. Make sure if not a spirulina, there's a wheatgrass in your diet. At least that's what you're doing. And try and be, lean a lot on practices like pranayam and breathing techniques and meditation, because these are the things that keep you a little stress free. Because most women, what happens to them is they go crazy because their acne is coming out, and then they've got bad skin, and then their hair is falling, and there's all this beauty stuff happening to women with PCOS, and that's what's affecting their body image as well. learn to calm down with that, because know that there's always a solution to it. You can always come out of it if you rectify your diet, because the very problem that gave you the PCOS is the very thing that will get you out of it if you flip it. Yeah. So that's all I can say. Read my book.
Great. Thank you so much, Shonali. This has been so insightful and educative. Thank you, and we will probably get in touch again in future. Thanks for your
Great.
time.
Thank you.
Bye.
And if you
Bye bye.
save this video, just send it to me. Yeah, I'll put it on my
Yeah,
handle.
I will.
Yeah.
I will do. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.